we're going to recap match week 11 in the Premier League. So without further ado, let's kick it off with the mid-card as Man United were able to salvage 1 point away to Tottenham Hotspurs as they drew 2-2. United traveled away to London and they were winning 1-0 actually up until the 84th minute of the game, but then off a corner in the 6th minute of stoppage time, Matthias de Ligt headed in a goal to save Man United 1 point. United are currently climbing the Premier League table standings as they are now 5 games without a loss. They now climb to 7th position in the Premier League. Moving on, Sunderland would take on Arsenal in what was a very thrilling game. Sunderland proved to the world that Arsenal's defense is penetrable, after center back Daniel Ballard thrashed a goal in the top corner to give Sunderland the 1-0 lead. Arsenal did draw level in the second half thanks to one goal from Bukayo Saka, and then went ahead 2-1 thanks to an absolute brilliant strike from Leandro Trossard. Summer deadline day signing Brian Brobby actually tied the game up 2-2 after he beat both David Raya and Gabriel to the ball. Arsenal are still obviously top of the Premier League table, but that 6-point lead that they had over second place Manchester City now depletes to 4 points. Meanwhile, Sunderland continue to surprise everyone as they still sit in 4th place. Moving on to Saturday afternoon, where Chelsea scored 3 and got all 3 points against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Malo Gusto, João Pedro, and Pedro Neto got all on the score sheet for Chelsea. Moving on now, Aston Villa absolutely slapped Bournemouth 4-0 to jump above them in the Premier League standings. Emi Buendia, Amadou Onana, Ross Barkley, and Daniel Malen all got on the score sheet for Villa in this game. Alright everyone, that was the mid-card bulk of this video. Now I'm going to move on to the other smaller results portion. Starting off with Everton, who beat Fulham 2-0 thanks to goals from Idrissa Gueye and Michael Keane. West Ham, who are now 2 wins in a row in the Premier League after beating Burnley 3-2. Crystal Palace and Brighton also drew 0-0 this past weekend. Moving on, Brentford beat Newcastle 3-1. Igor Thiago with 2 goals in this game for Brentford. Alright, last result and other smaller results before we get to the main event, as Nottingham Forest beat Leeds 3-1. 1-1 was the score until the 68th minute, where Morgan Gibbs-White put Nottingham Forest ahead 2-1. Then Elliot Anderson put the game away in the 91st minute. Alright, moving on to the main event, which was that Manchester City-Liverpool game that ended 3-0 in favor of the citizens. Mamardashvili did save a penalty from Erling Haaland early on in this game, but not too long after, Haaland would make up for that penalty miss by scoring a header to put City up 1-0. Then, to make matters worse for Liverpool and Arne Slot, Nico Gonzalez would score from outside the box, albeit off a deflection. Then in the 63rd minute, Jeremy Doku would put the nail in the coffin for Liverpool as he scored to make it 3-0. Liverpool, who were 3rd still in the Premier League just last week, have now dropped all the way down to 8th in the standings. Meanwhile, City, as we mentioned earlier, closed the gap just a little bit on Arsenal. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and as always, I'll see you next week to recap match week 12 in the Premier League. Thank you so much again for watching. See you next time. God bless.